Okay, from here we're going to go back, and we have data display. We'll click that. Now you're going to see that there's a lot of information. So what it does is it breaks it up in groups, sometimes repeating the same information. So we have engine data, sensor data, misfire data, accessory electrical theft data, evaporative emission data. So instead of it showing you 250 different things, it loops them in only the relevant stuff. So we go into engine data. And you can see all the information, and they scroll. Right? It's a lot of data. So what happens is, no matter what scan tool you're using, the more information you pick, the slower it rebuffs, it buffers. It's got to load this information in for every one of these things and update every one of them. So every scan tool you have an option to go custom. And now you can deselect them and now only pick the ones you want, or you can select them all and have them all. Right? So you can pick what you want, and in the other videos that you're going to see from our specific scan tool, I show you how to pick the ones you want. But first, I want you to get a feel of what we got going on. So I'm going to go back. Now with this scan tool, we can do it via graph or PID data, which is the individual numbers that go with things. And you could do that with the other scan tools too. So I'm going to start this up, and we can look at a few things. Okay, so you can see stuff moving. So we're going to just focus on an area here. I'm going to try to hopefully not get this too blurry to look at. Engine speed is the engine RPM. That's the speed that the engine's turning. Coolant temperature is the temperature of the coolant in the system. Now you can see it's 50 degrees and it's going to slowly warm up. That seems to be the best. Right, cold start is just a terminology that it has. I'm trying to get this on camera as well as video so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, mass airflow sensor is right there, and notice it's in hertz. Okay, so that is the frequency that the mass airflow sensor is operating on. It really comes down to how it figures things out. But you can see if I go, more air flows through the mass airflow sensor and the number goes up. We have idle air, where is it? There it is, IAC position. That's the idle air control motor. You see that it's sitting right now at 122. That's how it controls idle speed. So if I turn the headlights on, and I put the defroster on, you can see the number go up. And that's because it's trying to keep the idle speed the same. It allows air to flow past the throttle plate in the throttle body. As a result, the idle goes up. MAP sensor is a measurement of vacuum, and you can see that's inches of mercury. Okay, you can see it change. It's talking about the vacuum that's in the motor. The vacuum reading that shows up on the scan tool is never accurate. It just never is. Baro sensor is our barometric pressure, right? That's the air outside, and it's showing at 29.8, which is what it is, right? When we have a storm system come through, it becomes a low pressure system, and that value drops. Right, throttle position, you can see it's closed throttle, it's 0%, but if I open it up, you can see the throttle percent increase. I'm going to bring this up to get past those things. Now you could see the oxygen sensors. You see heated oxygen sensor bank 1 and bank 2. Okay, so that's the left side and the right side. You can see them switching. They range from 0.1 volt or 100 millivolts to 900 millivolts. When it's below 450 millivolts, it's considered rich, a lot of extra fuel. And if it's above 450, it's lean, not enough fuel, lots of air. And that switches back and forth. That's how it operates. The loop status indicates whether the oxygen sensors are warmed up or not, enough or not. So right now you see it says open. It's because the oxygen sensors have not heated up enough to report properly. So it stays in open loop. Once it warms up enough, they'll switch to closed loop, and the refining of the way the engine runs will be more fine. It will be able to tailor it better. Right, MIL, which is the malfunction indicator lamp, right? That is your check engine light, and it's saying it's off, and for real, it's off. There's no lamp on. You see, where were we? Right there. Fuel trim and short-term and long-term fuel trim, that's the correction factor of trying to get the vehicle to the way it runs. That doesn't start really moving until it goes into closed loop. And let's see, did it go into closed loop yet? Nope, not yet. Evaporative emission data, spark advance, right? So we have timing advance. If you remember, we talked about timing, that the spark plug needs to stay lit for 3 milliseconds to burn the air-fuel ratio, the air-fuel mixture. So you can see right now it's 16 degrees advanced, and you can see it goes all the way to 41. Right, it probably goes a little higher than that, and that's because higher RPMs. We got to advance it. We got to start that spark sooner to be able to burn that mixture as that piston comes around. Now that's your cam sensor right there, air conditioning relay. So you can see it's off, but if I turn the air conditioning on, alright, doesn't matter. Forget I even said it. Alright, generator terminal, don't worry about that. Transmission range, you can see it's in park and neutral, but if I switch it in reverse, it shows reverse. Right, a lot of data. Right, warm-ups, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm going to show you more in a second.